Hello everyone, welcome to the When at Work podcast. You're the host Julian Lee. Today I'm joined by Amory, Alvarez, Phil Treagus-Evans and Renee Hastings. Welcome to the show, guests.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Glad to be here.
All right, well, let's load up the board and get into it. That took a bit too long. 7-letter words. The 20th century, cold-blooded animals, roses, firsts, and world geography. Renee, on the left, you can kick things off. What would you like?
Oh, my word. How about roses?
Sounds good. Roses, assuming for
Roses
100.
For
This
100.
Latin term for confidentially literally means under the rose.
What is... Oh, wait, do I...
You just holler if you know the answer.
Oh.
Rose. I don't know what Latin for rose is. That's the problem. Rosacea. No, that's a disease.
No. I don't think that's it. I don't know.
Anybody know?
Ask our good friend ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. Yeah, I'm watching you, Amory. If I see you look down. All right. The answer is sabrosa. Why would we know that? We don't speak Latin.
Yeah, that was not a good one.
No. Well, you're still in control, Renee. Would you like to do 200 roses?
Yeah, let's try again with
Okay.
200.
An overly optimistic person is said to view life through these.
Rose-colored glasses.
Is correct. Well done, Renee. That's 200 points. What would you like next?
Roses for 3.
Roses for 300. This Greek island was named for either the roses or the snakes that proliferated there in ancient times.
Patmos?
The answer is... Let me just make it bigger. Rhodes, it was called. Rhodes. Never heard of it.
Never heard of that.
Renee, what would you like?
I'm sticking with roses for 400.
Let's do it all the way in a nice, neat line. In 1955, Mitch Miller knocked Rock Around the Clock from the #1 spot with this song, and it has Rose in its name. Mitch Miller, 1955. My granddad used to listen to this type of thing. Mitch Miller knocked Rock Around the Clock from the #1 spot. So just think of a Rose song that you can think of. Like I would guess a rose between two thorns, or that's all I've got. Anybody?
I was thinking something about a yellow rose of Texas, maybe?
Okay, if it's yellow rose, I'm going to give it to you. Yellow rose, anything. Yellow rose of Texas is correct, Renee, with the 50s rock trivia. Well done. It finally paid off the rose category. Let's finish it off. 500. The centifolia, or 100 petals rose, is best known by this vegetable name.
What is artichoke?
What's something else that is similar to an artichoke, and it has lots of leaves all bundled together, and if your mum... Cabbage is what we're looking for. I was going to say, and if your mum cooks it, you complain. Well done, Renee. You're on 1,100 points because you got the two most high-valued questions there. What would you like next?
How about firsts for 100?
Firsts for 100. Dr. West's Miracle Tuft toothbrush of 1938 was the first to have bristles made of this.
What is plastic?
It's a good answer. Why isn't it loading? The answer is nylon or plastic. Well done. You're absolutely on fire, Renee.
Oh my gosh. First for 200.
First for 200. Observance at which English colonists first ate popcorn. Observance at which English colonists first ate popcorn. Phil, no pressure.
Mm.
What? There was like a day of the year, like a special day, and the English people would eat popcorn. It probably was in not in England because they're saying colonists, so it could be. I don't think it's Australia. It could be one of the other many places.
First, eat popcorn.
Well, they want to know the observance, what the day is.
Oh, the day.
Yeah.
How about International Popcorn Day?
Yeah, well, hey, why not? The answer is Thanksgiving. They used to eat popcorn. I can see why they went with the turkey. That seems a bit better. What would you like there, Renee?
I'm gonna stick with first for 300.
Firsts for 300. They were the US presidents when the first man went into space and the first man walked on the moon. Now, these are two different periods. The first man that went into space was a Russian guy, and that was in 1958 or something. Obviously, the second one was Neil Armstrong. But so who was the presidents in that period, the two American presidents?
I want to say Hoover and Kennedy.
Hoover and Kennedy. You've got, it's Kennedy and Nixon was what, that can't be right. Nixon was in the 70s.
70s, wasn't
They
he?
were the US presidents when the first man went into space. Well, they're not counting the Russian guy. They're counting an American guy. No, that doesn't make sense either. I got to check on that. But these are actual Jeopardy questions, so, you know. I feel like you got gypped.
All right, well, I got one right.
Yeah, you're still dominating. Would you like 400?
Yes, please.
400. The 8 contestants in the first Miss America pageant in 1921 represented these. There was 8. What would that be?
The colonies? The colonies? The first U.S. colonies?
Okay.
No, they were like 13, I think.
The answer we're looking for is cities. Okay. Oh, so they then after that they represent states. Is that right?
Oh, okay, got
So they
you.
must
So
have-
they represented cities instead of states.
Yeah, gotcha. All
Okay,
right.
I got you. Well, let's finish first for 500.
First for 500. In 1981, Western Band Corporation was renamed this when it became the first bank to franchise its services. So it's the first franchise bank. What's the most famous bank in America?
It was Bank of America, I think.
All right, let's go with that. Is that one still around? First Interstate Bank. Is that one still around?
First Interstate Bank? No, I haven't heard of that one.
No, they probably went under in the subprime thing. Who knows?
Who knows?
What would you like next?
Okay, let's go with the 20th century for 100.
20th century. In 1945, Chinese troops loyal to Chiang Kai-shek occupied Formosa and changed its name back to this. So it'll be a Chinese town that we know. It was briefly named Formosa. So you got Beijing. You got, what's that one that starts with SSH?
Saigon?
What's that?
Shanghai?
Shanghai, yeah, that's one. And what else? So it's one of those.
I'm gonna say Shanghai.
Yeah, let's go with Shanghai. Taiwan.
Taiwan.
Wow, that's controversial too.
Right.
What would you like next? 200?
No, how about 7-letter words for one?
Whoops, I clicked too quickly. I was
go
a
ahead.
premature clicker. Of 1954, 1964, or 1974, the year in which the PLO was formed, which is the Palestine Liberation Organization led by Yasser Arafat, was it 1954, 1964, or 1974?
1964.
It's a good answer. I thought that as well when I peeked at this one. It's actually correct. Well done, Renee. You're absolutely dominating. The boys are starting to feel extremely sad. What would you like next?
Should we try 7-letter words for 100?
I like it. Yeah, I like these ones. 100 7-letter words. It's a baby's bedroom, not an RN's.
What's a nursery?
Straight off the mark. Renee has got that one too. Well done, Renee.
All right, let's stick with 7-letter words for 200.
7-letter words for 200. You guys should be going, is this thing on? This word for a group of people traveling with pack animals is derived from Persian. A word for a group of people traveling with pack animals is derived from Persian. It's also what we call a trailer in Australia, I think. And probably in England use the same word.
Traveling with pack animals.
A trailer, as in trailer park trailer.
Like, I just want to say sledders.
Yep.
I don't
Anybody?
know.
Do you have trailer parks in the UK, Phil?
I think, well, a
Full
little
of
bit, but
Irish
not.
people?
I'm thinking caravan.
That sounds good to me. That's what I was angling for, but I'm notoriously bad with my clues. That is correct. Well done, Phil.
Yay.
Phil, you're in control and you're on the board for 200. What would you like? Do it for the king.
Let's go. Can I go world geography?
You absolutely can. World geography, 100.
Sure.
Kangaroo Island is the third largest offshore island of this country. That's ridiculous. Where else could it be?
Australia?
It'll be Australia,
is
right?
correct. Well done, Renee. No hesitation. Ain't no kangaroos anywhere else. Renee, what would you like?
I'm going back to 7-letter words for 3.
300 7-letter words. A person born within the sound of bow bells is said to be a true one of these. What?
Sound of bow bells? What's a bow bell?
A true, I don't know. This is some sort of thing that probably we don't say anymore.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the answer. That one's really obscure.
Ship off the
Cockney.
old
My name is Michael Caine. No, that's terrible. So apparently they said that.
Your bus accent was better, I think.
Yeah, sorry. The Australian tends to dominate. Renee, you're still in control.
Okay, 7-letter words for 4.
7-letter words for 400. When you stick this sweet potato in your mouth, you should play it, not eat it. Play the potato?
What the
Amory.
Harmonica?
Is it
The answer-
ocarina?
Sorry?
I was going to say ocarina.
You got it. Phil, incredible.
Wow, Phil.
I don't
That's
know.
impressive.
I'm still none the wiser about that one. You're in
I don't
control,
even know
Phil?
what
No, never heard of it.
Let's go back to geography.
Geography, 200. Judas trees grow on the northern slopes of this country's Mount Carmel National Park and nature reserves. Judas trees. Sounds very.
What is Jerusalem?
Yeah, that's
gonna
what I'm
say-
thinking.
I'm going to say
Now-
Greece.
Okay, Greece, that's good. Now, Renee, I think Jerusalem, well, depending on who you ask, is in Israel.
Oh,
So,
Okay, yeah.
but I'll accept Israel or even
Okay.
Palestine, I guess.
okay.
All right, let's take a look. Israel is the answer. Well done, Renee.
Yay. Okay, so let's go back to 7-letter words for 5.
7-letter words for 500. This adjective meaning rustic or pastoral comes from the Greek word for cowherd. Okay. Agricultural. So when you've got things like rural. No, that's not rustic.
Missionary?
Oh, Goodness me. I feel like doing the that's what she said joke there.
On mission? No, I don't know.
The answer is bucolic.
Okay, yeah. I don't even know those letters put together.
Well, let's go to another one, Renee. What would you like? We've got 20th century cold-blooded animals, world geography left.
All right, let's do world geography for 3.
World geography for 300. At the old observatory, here you can stand with 1 foot in the eastern hemisphere and 1 in the western.
What is England? It's England in the. I was there. I did it.
I'll tell you what. If it's England,
it's in London.
It's in London. Okay.
Yes.
Is it Greenwich?
Yeah, Greenwich. Yes.
Renee, what should I do?
Give it to Phil.
I reckon, yeah, we'll give it to Phil.
I was there. I did the thing. I put my foot in the boat.
I know you knew it. It's just one of those things. You gotta work hard to get the old memories out sometimes.
Oh,
Phil, what would you like?
Let's keep going with geography.
Geography for 400. The southernmost glacier in Europe, the Calderone, is in this country's Apennine Mountains. Amory, this sounds pretty European.
Mm-hmm. Mont Blanc.
Say it again.
The Mont Blanc.
Mont Blanc? Is that a glacier or a
so.
mountain or a fountain pen?
No, that's a mountain. So
That's
it's
a
not a
mountain.
glacier.
I'm gonna say Switzerland.
Switzerland. I don't know the name of any glaciers.
No.
So that's a big kind of iceberg thing. Let's take a look what the answer is. It's called... Hang on. The southernmost glacier in Europe, the Calderone, is in this country's... Okay, we want a country. This country's Apennine Mountains. Hopefully you can't read the answer. Oh, you can. Can you read it?
Yeah. What does it say though?
Don't worry.
Italy?
Italy?
Okay, bit of a suspect, but I'll give it to you, Phil. The answer was already on the board. All of a sudden, it gets answered correctly. Phil, let's do world geography. Finish that one off.
Yeah, let's do it.
This port city is West Germany. This is how old these questions are. This port city is West Germany's leading industrial center. Where's the port in Germany?
West Germany.
Luxembourg.
I want to say
Oh no.
Where did
Hamburg?
Hamburg? Okay, let's go with that. What was one of the ones where they invaded them in World War II? That was a port as well, wasn't it? D-Day, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Dunkirk.
Dunkirk. All right. Well, anyway, the answer is Hamburg. Well, who am I to question? Phil. Well done. Cold-blooded animals or 20th century, Phil?
Let's go 20th century.
20th century for 300. This man who took over Alvarez State Department duties in 1947 later became JFK's Secretary of State. Was that his brother? I don't know.
American politics, not exactly my
No.
my specialist area.
Mine either.
Well, that's the only person I know is his brother from that era, so I'll say Robert, even though I'm not in this. The answer is actually Dean Rusk. Of course.
Never heard of
What?
it.
All right, Phil.
Let's switch up and go for cold-blooded animals.
Okay, cold-blooded animals for 100. When a tadpole becomes an adult frog, this anatomical feature is absorbed by its body.
Tail.
Tail is correct. Well done. I used to catch tadpoles and try to watch that happen, but they would always die. Terrible. Sorry about that.
Let's keep going cold-blooded.
Cold-blooded, 200. 2 of the 3 families in the order Crocodilia.
Alligator and alligators and
Crikey.
crocodiles.
You got it. alligator, crocodile, and the other one is gavials or something. Anyway, who knows what they are? You got the 2 right, and you're in control,
All
Renee.
right.
What would you like?
Cold-blooded animals, 300.
Cold-blooded animals, 300. Most of these sold as pets until banned by the FDA in 1975 were of the slider or cooter varieties.
Rat?
Rat?
Cold-blooded
Ahmed.
animals.
Snake.
Snakes?
Snakes, all right. We've got snakes and rats. Let's have a look. The answer is turtles, unfortunately. Armand, I was hopeful.
Okay, cold-blooded animals for 4.
Cold-blooded for 400. Harmless king snakes, such as the one seen here, that's helpful, are often mistaken for this venom snake. Think of a venomous snake, I think that has a kind of
King
hood.
Cobra.
Ahmed, what was
What
that?
is
King Cobra?
Yeah,
But
I
no,
think
it's
that
not.
was-
King Cobra is venomous.
Let's have a look.
But there is one that is mistaken.
Coral snakes. That sucks. I'm going to give you points for that because there's no picture and there should have been a picture. All right, Ahmed, you can pick one. I owe you 400 points. What would you like?
Sorry? I'll take the cold-blooded animals again.
Cold-blooded, 500. The mud puppy or water dog is a large American variety of this amphibian.
A croc. Alligator.
They're not
Yes,
actually.
crocodile.
Amphibians can breathe underwater and come on the land. So that
I'm
alligators,
going to say a catfish.
catfish,
I
yeah.
think it's a crocodile.
Okay.
I'm going to say toad.
Toad. All right. The answer we're looking for is salamander. Those weird-looking kind of lizard things. All right. 20th century. With his death in 1971, his presidency for life of Haiti came to an end after only 7 years.
President of Haiti. I don't know any
Nah.
presidents of Haiti.
Not from the 70s. Oh, well,
The only guy I think who comes from Haiti is that fat guy, singing "Over the Rainbow" or something.
the fat guy singing over the
I
rainbow.
don't-
Kermit the Frog.
But I don't think he. Yeah, the frog. I don't think he was president.
Okay, let's take a look. It'll be a French name.
Yeah.
Francois Papadoc Duvalier. Butchered the pronunciation. Last question.
course.
Let's wrap it up. Code name of the FBI undercover operation implicating public officials that went public in February 1981. It was also featured in the film Donnie Brasco. Operation. Do you remember who's seen Donnie Brasco?
I have.
And they go on a boat, and Lucky Al Pacino says
was
in
it?
the paper.
Was it Abscam?
Yes, that's correct. Well done. Abscam is correct. Well
She
done.
watched Donnie Brasco recently.
Well, that's the end of the game. And Phil actually just won it with that one on 2,400. Renee was absolutely terrific on 2,000. Armand, you were terrific as well. You got 400. Thank you, guys. Great game. It's a bit difficult sometimes if you're not from the States. It can be difficult.
All right, final
Also,
Jeopardy.
because you use
No, we're not
ChatGPT
going
all
to do
the
Final
time,
Jeopardy. We're going to go straight to
don't have
Renee.
memory.
All right, Renee, tell us about Executive Help now. When did you form this and what gave you the idea?
So I formed Executive Help Now in 2014. So just over 10 years ago, and it started as a side hustle. With my corporate job that I had during the day, I've had a career of supporting executives and in the C-suite level as their executive assistant. So I became very knowledgeable about what it takes to successfully support an executive who's responsible for millions and billions of dollars for our company, because these are Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 companies that I worked at. And so, because that's what I knew how to do, I decided to, after my kids left, to start my own business and continue doing what I knew how to do for my own executives. And then once my executives started feeling the relief from being able to delegate their work to someone that they could confidently trust, the work became too much for me to do by myself. There was incredible imbalance in work-life balance. And so I decided to hire my first virtual assistant to get that relief. And when I saw the difference that it made in my life, I was like, everybody needs a virtual assistant. And so the company has just grown from there. Our clients keep telling their friends about us, and our team keeps growing. And we now have several clients and 40 team members.
And what are the benefits of getting a virtual assistant versus a regular assistant?
Well, the expense, number one, is the biggest reason why most people decide to go with us, because typically when you hire someone on as an employee, you have to pay them health insurance, you have to pay, paid vacations, other benefits, fringe, they call it here in the US, and it's very expensive. Whereas in addition to their salary. So when you hire us, you just pay us the flat rate and you don't have all the added expense of fringe benefits or space to occupy building square footage. You don't have all of the office supplies that are required, all of the things, because your assistant is working remotely from home.
And the wives will be a lot happier when there's not a young lady in the office all the time. Just speaking from my experience. And where do you get your virtual assistants from? Do you outsource them?
Excuse me. So most of our team members are U.S. based, and we do have some offshore.
And you screen them and everything, and do you train them? How do you bring them on board and then let them loose on the clients?
Yes, absolutely. So we have an extensive onboarding process and training program where they have to demonstrate their skills and their skill level and abilities before they're ever assigned to a client. And then we teach them the Executive Help Now way and our standard of excellence that we expect out of all of our team members. And once they get acclimated to that, then they are eligible to become a match for a client.
Yeah, and it seems a better way than, because you can go on Fiverr and get people, but you're definitely going to have some difficulties and very variable results, it seems better to go that way. And then do most people just, how do they allocate, do they do certain amount of hours per month, or how does it work?
Yeah. Yes, so we have 3 different tiers of packages based on years of experience and number of hours within that that years of experience level. So we have team members that have 1 to 3 years of experience, 4 to 5 years of experience, and then over 5 years of experience. And then the packages are 10 hours, 20 hours, or 40 hours a month within each of those levels.
And I suppose it costs more for the more experienced one, but I would pay less for the more experienced and more for the less experienced people.
You would pay more for the less experienced people?
Okay,
why would you do that?
They're more like, they listen to you and stuff, so anyway, that's just me. Don't worry about that. And that's fantastic. And do you put your pricing on the website, or is it per client, per job?
Yeah, it is per client, per job, because some clients need additional support that's not mentioned that we can do. And that may increase a cost or add a extra fee or something like that. And so we customize packages based on the client's needs. And also, in addition to us doing administrative support, when I started my podcast 3 years ago, we're in our 3rd year now of doing podcasts. We now offer podcast production services for clients.
Oh, that's good. And your podcast, you want to plug that?
Yeah, so my podcast is Renee Speaks. We have a channel on YouTube, and every Friday at 1:00, a show drops. The first Friday of the month is a live show. And I started the platform to encourage women business owners along their entrepreneurial journey to help them avoid some of the mistakes that I made, and bring subject matter experts on the show to help them gain additional resources and tools and tips and tricks for being successful.
And is your audience people that want to or currently work in the field of executive assistants usually?
No, our audience is typically business owners.
I gotcha. That are looking to get people to help them.
Yes, get people to help them and understand how to run their business better.
Yeah, excellent. Well, that's great. There's a lot of good stuff there, and there's definitely people need this service. And like I said, I think in the past I've hired people, and I think, and I've also hired people with an organisation that sort of does all the training and onboarding, and it's much better. So it's a good idea. That's Executive Help Now, and also the URL's in the show notes. And check out Renee's podcast, which is Renee Speaks. And you can find her on YouTube as well. Thank you very much, Renee.
Thank you. Thank
Wonderful. All right, let's go pop over to France now. Armand, tell us about what you're up to. Amory, sorry. Now, you've got a kind of green initiative. Do you want to tell us about that?
Sure. Well, it's nothing as fancy as Renee, but I'm on a mission of solving baby fashion thanks to trees and empowering people to choose the future they want to live in. Simple words, I connect the tree planting NGOs with e-commerce sites that plant, that sell baby fashion trees, basically, that sell baby fashion clothes, excuse me. And I really believe that when you look into nature, you will see this equal exchange, the bee that pollinates the flower and gets honey in exchange. And humans used to play into these natural laws of exchange, giving and taking back, taking and giving back. But we've stopped. We've only taking.
Hey, Amory, we got some audio problems here, so okay, yeah. The audio is glitching out. So basically, I'll just sort of give my sort of crib notes on it. So companies that are looking to have a green presence, and then you kind of allow them to take part in some of these activities, which is planting trees, and they can then advertise that whatever percentage of sales goes towards it. Is that correct? All right. Hey, Amory, we'll just have to wrap it up, mate. I'm really sorry, but the audio's...
Baby fashion brands or
audio's no good.
Even brands will invest into CSR,
all right, let me just
which is already a good thing.
Insane. Sorry, man. The audio is just not happening. Phil, let's pop over there.
Can't you hear me at all?
I can hear about three of you, Amory. All right. Phil, tell us about the Giraffe School. Giraffe Social.
Yeah, it's not a school for giraffes.
No,
although that sounds awesome.
But that's a good idea.
Yeah, maybe that's what I should have done. So I run a social media agency called Giraffe Social, based here in the UK. And I've also just released my first book, which is called Human First Marketing, and is all about putting humans and people back to the center of marketing, essentially. And obviously with everything going on with AI at the moment and the amount of ads that we encounter every day, we feel it's important to make sure that we're bringing people, whether it's your team or your customers, sort of into your marketing strategy.
And what types of stuff do you do? Do you help people with? Do you do like social media management, SEO? What is it?
Yeah, so social, we focus purely on social media, so covering organic, so content creation, community management. We do influencer marketing and paid advertising, and we work with brands all around the world, ranging from all sorts of industries, and we help them with their social, whether that's taking the whole lot on for them and managing it, or whether it's being plugged in to just sort of help with one specific problem.
And tell us about your book, Phil. What is Human First Marketing, and when did you publish it? You just put it out.
Yeah, so the book came out about 3 weeks ago. and became a bestseller on Amazon, which was obviously really great. And it's really a book for people who are looking to try and make their marketing more human, and sort of the sorts of results that we've seen from doing this for our clients are really, really good. So we're sort of giving you a bit of a peek behind the curtain in terms of how we're doing things in the agency.
Can you give us some examples of what human first marketing is so I can understand it, because I'm not very smart?
Sure. So any type of marketing where you're bringing people to the forefront. So one of the most common forms that we're seeing at the moment is called employee advocacy, and this is where you're encouraging your team members to basically post on their personal social about their role and their passions and the business. And we know that people trust people more than they trust brands, and the sorts of engagement levels you see from content coming from your team is often hundreds of percentages higher than from a company page. So that's one way, for sure.
Interesting. And what types of businesses do you mostly work with, Phil?
All sorts. I mean, we've been around now for 13 years, so we've worked with, from companies like Air France and Kahoot, and through to some smaller companies as well. So
what's Kahoot? I've heard of that one.
Kahoot is a sort of an educational quiz platform that's used in sort of schools, colleges.
I use them for this very podcast, actually.
There you go. So Kahoot are fantastic.
Yeah.
So we help them with their social media presence.
Cool. Well, that's great. And check out the book, Human First Marketing. You get it on Amazon. And
available on Amazon.
Amazon, awesome. And have you got anything coming up you want to plug?
No, not at the moment. Really, the book is kind of the focus at the moment. So, I'd love people to go check it out and let me know what they think. Yeah,
check out the book. That's the best way to learn more about somebody, and understand what they're doing. So that's cool. Human First Marketing. Thanks for that, Phil.
No worries.
Wonderful. Well, I'm going to wrap things up. Thanks, guys. We had a bit of a glitch there for our middle guest. I'm sorry, but he might be upset with me. But nevertheless, you guys did great. Thank you very much. I'm going to wrap things up. If you want
to, I appreciate the opportunity. And
how do you send the prize money, Julian? Do you need my bank?
Yeah, the check's in the mail. It'll bounce though. It's made of rubber.
And Phil, I've connected with you on LinkedIn.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it'd be good to chat.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, everyone. See you next time.